All right, coming up, President Biden's immigration overhaul hits a snag just as new concerns arise that he'll handcuff ICE officials. Retired acting ICE Director Tom Homan reacts to the new plans to limit their enforcement action.
Good morning.
So these guidelines that are circulating, it makes it sound like, for the average crime that somebody who is in this country illegally commits, they're not going to get deported. So it's harder to arrest them, which means it's harder to deport them.
Exactly, and that's what they're doing. They're circumventing the judge's order, and thank God for the AG in Texas who's taking this on, and thanks to Chip Roy. Chip Roy has led a group of 50 senators to send a letter asking about this. But look, I'm a part of that lawsuit. I actually filed an affidavit with the Texas AG explaining to him the consequences of such a policy. Because look, you and I, Steve, have talked the last couple of years. Every time someone's released from a sanctuary jail, they commit a murder, commit a rape, we talk about it for a couple of days and it goes away. Be clear what's happening here. The President Biden has declared the entire country a sanctuary jurisdiction, which means more tragedies are going to come. Mark my word. People will die. People will be raped. People will be victimized by criminals that shouldn't even be here. It's coming. And we've been talking about this for 2 years. And it's already started, Steve, because I want to mention one more thing. There's a national sex offender operation planned last week called Operation Talon. They were targeting the arrest of convicted sexual offenders, including child molesters. They canceled the operation on the heels of this memorandum. So it's already started. We have sexual predators who are here illegally walking the streets in our communities because of the actions of this administration.
Well, you look at the numbers, surgeon numbers, the daily average flow last month was 2,000. Last month it was 2,000. Now it is 3,500. There were portions of the Arizona border the law enforcement had seen gigantic increases in, and those had completely gone dead during the Trump administration. And then when you look at last calendar year, 103,000 total arrests, 90% of those who were arrested had criminal convictions or pending criminal charges. But now, given the fact that the law enforcement is so hamstrung in who they can arrest and who they can deport, what's going to happen to all those people?
There was no reason to reprioritize what ICE does. If they would have clearly looked at the data, 91% of everybody ICE arrests is either a convicted criminal or pending criminal charges. What they just did, they took 95%, and that's not an exaggeration, 95% of the criminals ICE have arrested are now off the table. They're free in the community. And what kind of message does that send to the rest of the world? If you're coming to the country illegally, if you can get past the Border Patrol, don't commit an aggravated felony, and you're home free. You get to stay because ICE is not looking for you. It's no longer illegal to be here illegally. In my 34 years of doing this job, and I started as a Border Patrol agent, I climbed the ladder to be an ICE director. First one to climb up through the ranks. When I read this policy, this is the most anti-law enforcement, pro-criminal policy that I could ever imagine in my worst nightmare. I cannot believe they put this in writing. This is sending a message to the rest of the world. The border is surging. And in the memo, they said, we have to do this. We have to redeploy resources to the border to deal with the asylum cases. They fail to mention the surge at the border is of their own making because of their promises and their enticements. That's why there's a surge at the border. But they want this. This is designed to be this way. They're bringing millions of people into this country who will now be counted on the census because Joe Biden overturned that, which leads to seats in the House, Electoral College, and elections. This is power over public safety, the quest for power over protecting American citizens.
All right, nobody knows more about the topic than you do. Tom Homan, thank you very much for joining us live.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.